Welcome to another tutorial from me, Tony Harris. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I set up the environment for this scene, and if you didn't catch the last tutorial, I covered basic studio lighting, how to set up a 3-point light setup with the camera, and basically the post-processing of the image at the end. But I didn't go into detail about the materials on the scene or on the car itself. So in this one we're going to show you how to do that. So I've got a basic scene set up, and there's nothing much to it really. I've got a lot of rectangular cubes in cloners. You'll see that we've got this back wall section here, and that's in a symmetry object inside the cloner, and we've got our cube. I've applied two materials to it, two sort of concrete materials. Just get a bit close there. Probably best to come around this side. And see, we've just got a basic cube there and two textures on with the selection tag. And what I've done is I've just cloned that along the top, along the side. Again, for the roof, I've just done pretty much the same thing. That's in a cloner. Sourced the materials off the internet, the textures. I've got quite a few different concrete textures and just blended them, mixed and matched them, just so that it's not repeating constantly. For the lights, I've got just a basic cube again in a repeater, and I've actually got a cube itself with luminance material on it, and you'll see that that's like a slightly off yellow, and it's set 300 in the brightness and the luminance. I've got a light, an area light with area shadows. The details, it's a rectangular light, and it's a inverse square, physically accurate. Decays around 40 centimeters, depending on the size of your scene. And I've pretty much done that for the back wall as well. So see, that'll just again, it's exactly the same material. The lights might sort of vary in brightness. I've got it set to 160, and yeah, decay radius is around 40. I've also got a visible light, which is like a box. You can see that there. If you just turn on turn the roof cloner back on there, you'll see I've got like a gap there, and just wanted the light to sort of bleed through there. The light for that is it's around 34%, and it's a parallel spotlight. It's inverse square, physically accurate, and the outer distance is sort of quite far down, so that it simulates like sunlight coming through, like a bloomed light coming through. I've got another light which is sorry, I've got another light somewhere. Let me find it. Spotlight. Not sure what I've done with that. I did open this scene up yesterday. There, yes, sorry. Infinite light, and that's set to 100%. Shadows are area, and that's just to sort of simulate the light coming in from an angle. You can see the coordinates there, the rotational coordinates, just so that the light comes in and bounces off this back wall. Did have some pillars here. I'm not sure what I've done with them too, but I think I might have turned them off and delete them accidentally. Anyway, you'll see the pillars in the back here, in the basic, just the same as these cubes, but in a repeater, going along the back of here. And that was just to break up any outside light coming in. As you can see, it's sort of just breaking up a little bit at the back there. Again, for the floor, that's just a material, a plane with material put on it in a corner again. So that's about it for the lights. Sorry, not all of the lights. I will camera. Sorry, I've got 3 lights here, which are for the car. So I've got the key light, which is above. I've got a fill light at the front and a backlight. You see that I've got the light itself is the light itself here is in front of this plane. So the light is set around 40. It's an area light, and then I've got a plane at the back of that which is a little bit larger. And then that's got a luminance material on with a gradient set like this, and yeah, that's just UV mapped on. So like I say, you can set this to multiply and then increase this strength here, and that'll make it a lot brighter. But it depends on, you know, how much you want the reflections to come through on the car paint itself. You see that some of these might be different. No, they're not. Like I say, I mean, set and multiply, and you can increase this to make the reflections brighter, but I probably found that this was a decent level for the reflections. So the camera, I did use this camera yet, so you'll see that this is set to around 80, so you can see the angle of the car change. So I want it to be a lot more square on, so that the car looks a little bit flatter at the back, compared to if I set this to like 30, you'll see what I mean. So if this was like set to 36 and then we zoomed in, you'll see the car is quite stretched. So, and you can see the rest of the scene, which I didn't want. So, like I say, the camera wanted this to be around 80, 81, 86.1, something like that. So I'll show you the materials for the back wall. Again, symmetry object, cloner. So we've just got color channel, the layer, and then I've just got two textures inside of that. This is set to multiply, just to darken it up slightly, and it's a different concrete material. Again, I've just used a bump map for that in the back, on the back wall. For the floor itself, we achieved this effect with the sort of wet puddles. I'll just fire that material off for you now. So in the colour channel, we've got a layer, and then we've got various textures inside of that, noises, just to sort of darken things up, and different textures, set and multiply, just tweaking the percentages of them. With the diffusion channel, I've got pretty much the same channel as in the colour channel, so you can just like copy, paste that in there. I've set that to 68%. The reflection is set to high. The bump map's again just another copy of that channel, and I think this noise here is to simulate the water, some ripples on the water, so I'd probably copy that over into the bump channel. So that's how I achieved that, I think. So yeah, I've set that to cubic, and you know, the length to quite high. Just check the I've set the global scale for the puddles themselves to be around 12,000. That's set to Naki in the noise channel. So that's basically the puddles that you see here. So I'll show you the car paint material now. So for the alloys and stuff in the car paint and glass, so you see that we've got a colour channel with a filter, and then what I usually do is just bring the whole graduation curve down slightly to darken it. You can do different tweaks in here with your contrast and gamma. If we go inside of the layer, I've got a Fresnel at the top, set and multiply, just to darken it from the angles of the Fresnel. I just wanted it to be slightly darker to lighter, and set that to multiply so it goes over the whole car paint itself. And then I've got another Fresnel layer with the colour of the car paint itself over the top there. The reflection is just normal reflection. You see that it's picking it up quite nicely. The alloys are pretty much, the alloys are pretty much just a Fresnel. Again, another Fresnel inside of that, inside of the reflection channel, and we have mixed that, mixed it between 12% and 48% on the actual overall brightness of the reflection. I've set the blurriness to be around 21%, just so that it breaks up the reflections there. The specular, I've ramped up the height and lowered the width and the fall off. What else can I show you? I'm not sure if you saw the in the last tutorial, you know, various objects on the car itself. I mean, I've untouched the materials themselves. I've just brought them straight in and changed the colour of the car paint and stuff. Probably could have done a bit better work on the rear lights there, but I'll show you how that's being set up. So I've got the colour channel and the absorption colour and the distance, and then that set of Fresnel with these two settings set. Got the alpha set with the Fresnel inside of that, and then the specular on top of that. So for the front light glass, which is the what you see here, that's set to this sort of dark bluey grey colour. Transparency is set to about 30% as well as 70%, something like that. The mixed strength's around 60, and then we've got a Fresnel inside of that, inverted at around 2.4 IOR. The reflections are set to 100% for the glass. I think so. We've got window glass, that's set to like a dark green colour. Again, transparencies set to 86%, the reflection set to 100%. And probably show you the pads here. Again, just a basic layer colour, a little tweak of the hue saturation, the Fresnel inside of that. This is set to multiply it, darken it slightly. Again, the reflection and the blurriness at around 21%. The little sections around the seams around the seats, again, that's just a basic sort of flat colour. And what else can I show you? Various metallic, probably like for the exhausts and stuff. Well, actually the wheels. So I'll show you the tyre setup. So for the tyres, we've just got this really dark grey colour with some noise, FBM noise, set around 7%, and I've probably set that on the wheel itself to cubic and lower that down around 20 in the percentage. Got a slight reflection on it, 16%, and high blurriness, just to break up the any sort of reflection. I suppose everything in 3D has got a slight bit of reflection, so we're just breaking that up there on the wheel itself. Bump, I never actually applied bump to that. I don't know why I've got that checked, but this specular channel, we've got a Fresnel, and then we're looking at around 100 22% width, and then negative fall off for that. And I was going to show you. Again, probably show you. Again, you know, these are just sort of copied again for the real light glass and stuff. I think that's about it, really. I mean, there's nothing else special in here for the settings. I'll probably show you this, how I did this breakup here. So I've just set up created a image in Photoshop, and then added a noise over the top of that, global scale, FBM. Load that to around 45%, and then another noise on top of that. Change the scale to around 213, different type of noise. Set that to multiply. And that's just to, you can't actually see that there, but it's just to make it look a little bit dirty. I think that's generally around it. I don't think I've got much else to show you. Tyre, alloy, seats, probably show you the seats. The seats are just basic material again. They get a dark blue, some reflection, blurriness, some specular. Probably use a light blue on the colour of the specular so that it's not shown, you know, like really hot white spots there. So it'll just bring out, just make it look slightly more blue on the seats themselves. And so yeah, that's that. I'll show you the render settings. So I always do two different types of settings. Just one for testing, and global illumination. Actually, I've probably changed the settings themselves. Yeah, I'll just show you these settings. So I've got irradiance cache for the primary method, secondary method, light mapping, maximum depth at around 20 and 2.2 for the gamma, which is important. Otherwise, it'd be depending on your monitor. So I usually turn that around 2.2. Again, default for ambient occlusion, and I'm using the physical renderer for that. So I think that's about that for the scene itself. So for the post-processing of the image itself, I'll show you the layers, the build-up. So this is how the render come out, straight from Cinema 4D. And I think what I did here was probably, I'm not sure what I did there actually, but you can see that the I think I did two types of renders, probably just to make this back wall look a little bit more brighter in terms of the light bouncing off. And this looks like, alright, yeah, this looks like it looks like I've exported it out as a radiance image, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's either a radiance or Omnix. I've exported one of them two out and then brought it into the when you fire it up, you get the high HDR toning options, and I set that to 6%, set it to overlay, just to bring out some of these textures on the walls and stuff. And it was probably one of the options in there was like a really dark colour. So I've set that to overlay just to make the scene pop slightly. Yeah, this looks like extra brushwork to sort of brighten up this area around here, just to make it sort of a bit more diffuse with the light coming in. And then I've put a curves layer on top of that. Just drag down the overall curve slightly. I've added another curves layer on top of that, and looks like I've pulled up the blue channel, so I've gone into the blue and just pulled that up slightly there, like that, just to bring a bit more blue into the scene. I've added a bit of brightness and contrast, just the contrast slightly. An exposure. Just put that up to like plus 40, and then hue saturation, just tweak them slightly, and then yeah, so you see there that on the edges there's a slight vignette. What I've done there is I've copied the whole lot like this, copy merge, edit paste, and then I've done lens correction. Probably tweaked these, added some chromatic aberration in there slightly, not too much, because I don't. On cameras, cameras tend to create this effect where you'll probably see that now. So you can see the green tinges here and the red, the purple tinges, the green and purple tinges on the edges here. So generally I only use like a very slight amount of that because you don't want to overdo it. And then I've probably added a slight bit of vignette on the corners there. Yeah, just a slight little bit there, and just so that pops slightly there. So yeah, that concludes this. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.